Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Damaging Your Ignorance. Right now, social media is on fire. This topic, this issue, this matter is heating up the internet. And I want us to kind of look into it. And of course, we are going to listen to a lot of people that call themselves men and women of God. They have answers to this. Let us get right into it. Before we proceed, please like, share, tap on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Returning subscribers and those that have been here, I say a very big thank you to you. And to those that have tapped on the thanks button, the one with the love icon, $ sign in the middle of it, may God bless you. If you like what we do here, tap on the button that says thanks.
I am one of the women of God who thinks that before you marry a man, you must see his penis. You must see it, you must hold it, you must feel it, and make sure it's working.
I'm telling you that the decision of sex before marriage is not a church matter. It is a home matter. That is all I'm saying. The major attack of sex before marriage is that it breaks trust. That's all. You will marry all right, but you are going to live with suspicion. The guy will not trust you, will not trust the guy. You come to church, you see somebody getting close to the person, I can hear you say, me, we did it, but we trust one another. Okay. Trust is broken. Because that is what, you see, once you step out of the context of the scriptures, you cannot promise a sound future. Once you step out of the context of the scriptures, you cannot promise a sound future. God said that you must, that is why we do wedding. That is why we have something called honeymoon. We didn't say continuation. If you get it, at least you'll be saying, Most of the wedding is no honeymoon, it's continuation. The thing that you are opening is that the first time. You know all the nitty-gritties of the thing. You know all the corners. If you are not laughing, you are a suspect. What is the? Why are you so quiet about what I'm talking about? No, it's not in your interest. Hallelujah. A lot of the reason why a lot of things are happening is also, let me tell you, most of the marriages in the church, the foundation is not correct. And if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? The solid foundation is not right. There are a lot of things that has happened that the enemy is using after the marriage. Now I'm talking. Now I have what right do I have to judge somebody who is not in the church? I'm talking in the context of the Bible pattern for marriage. Then so from there you just start, and by the grace of God you are courting, and the courtship must be pure. In that courtship, the marriage that will have soundness and peace and trust, there must not be any sexual affairs in the courtship. Because God designed only sex in the context of the marriage covenant. Let me tell you, I don't care your belief. I don't care what you think. Any sexual affairs outside the context of the marriage covenant has repercussions. It's dangerous.
Marital sex is so powerful, it affects marital sex. When you start sleeping with people you are not married to, you are, as a human being, you are like a plain sheet. Every encounter with a human being puts an imprint on that paper. So if I have a piece of paper and I've written something on it before, and I write on that thing on it, with that new thing I'm writing, will it be clear? It won't be clear because there's already something behind it. So that you need to strain to pick out. That's what happens to you when you've had many experiences. You now want to have an experience with your present husband or wife. You'll be comparing. When married people tell me, I'm not enjoying sex in my marriage, I say, compared to what? You are comparing it to something. If this is the only sex you have ever had, it will be the best sex you have ever had. Because it's the only one you ever had. But you have dated 5 men. One is good with kissing, one is good with switching, one is good with domassage. Then you now marry one bomb boy that don't have any experience. There's no way you'll be happy. You are setting yourself up for happiness. This is what I'm saying. This is what makes many people don't stay joined together. Too many experiences to compare what you have with. In God's design, both of you are supposed to marry as virgins, and this is your only experience. If it's your only experience, you'll be happy with it. The satisfaction many people have in their marriages is based on the many experiences they have.
Papa, I'll talk on the medical aspect of it. We've had a case where a lady wants to get married to a man, and the man had micro penis.
Let's not confuse students. Here is Bible. So, sometimes we get confused. God said marriage is honorable when the bed is undefiled. And seeing the man simply means she's just being polite. She's saying, let her test. Is it proper? That's all she's trying to say. Because you cannot see a man's organ without you testing it. Let's be very raw. And God, listen. Are you I'm saying now? Hold on. That's why in courtship we say open up. So in courtship, the man should be able to tell you if he has a medical problem. That's why we teach you that in courtship, don't hide anything from the person you want to marry. You don't have to see it to know it. The man should tell you that I have a problem. Then two of you will agree whether you pray over it. How can you see a man's organ and then your eye will just leave? Thank you. Stop deceiving. Is that not it? Another question inside. So you now see the man naked. Your body will not act. Thank you. Thank you. Deceive. God said is honorable. So you don't see the organ before marriage. It's not pepper soup. That you have to taste. They don't taste it. The man, if he has a problem, he should do what? Open up. He should do what? He should open up. In fact, in this church, if you sleep, they won't wed you. That's how the rule is so strong. If you sleep, two of you, you will never wed. So to maintain that integrity, don't test the man. Don't see it. If you want to dance till morning and you start 9 p.m., what will happen? You'll be tired. When you marry, that you want to do, you do it for life. Don't rush. All of you in courtship, calm down. This is what you do for life. No point testing it. You are not in the world. We are children of God.
You know, the whole Bible has no courtship. And I'm not talking about marriage right now. The Bible is no courtship. Why? Do you know the Bible never tells us about dating? You won't find it there. People will meet and marry.
Facts. Yes, sir.
There's no courtship in the Bible. Find it. So we just dating. You can't test drive a woman. She's not a car. All these people who are divorcing, they also dated. They had time to see if the woman was the real one. Do you know why it failed? Because if I know you are actually trying to see if I'm the real one, I will act it. Until you pop the question. I'll be good for 2 months. Then bring back my colors later on. Why is there not dating in the Bible? Simple. Because God was expecting you to find a spouse, a husband, a wife among his people. People you already know. That one is like this, the one is like this, the one is like this, the one is like this. So you know how they move. You know what they think. You know how they act. So when they say, I love you, guess what? Let's get married tomorrow. You know what? Because I've known you for 2 years and I know your character.
Now, welcome back. We can go at length about the moral aspect of seeing the equipment of a man and making sure that it works, which is basically what the first person that spoke, she said, I am a woman of God, and I am of the opinion, and I am part of the movement that says that you should check the equipment of a man and be very, very certain about it before marriage. This, according to her, is to avoid all kinds and types of situation that could come up, and so that you will know where you are standing. Now, there are moral, or let's say morality. We cannot separate morality from religion, or let's say the Bible as it says, as it is, because there are parts of the Bible that says, thou shalt not covet this, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. Some of these laws, and I mean, being a good person, generally, you will find examples of it in the Bible. Yeah, you will find this in the Bible. Now, there are people who have broken the Bible down and the way they went about it is by, according to them, going to the original text, the language in which the Bible was written before the translations that we have now, Aramaic, Hebrew. Some said there is nothing like fornication, and it is more of prostituting yourself in adultery. The question is this: is there any part of the Bible where it is recorded that young chaps and young ladies were just busy checking what is in between their legs and then moving to the next person? Now, if we look at the culture in that particular part of the world, and maybe in other parts of the world too, but we are focusing on that particular part of the world. So if we compare and contrast stories, history, and all of that, you realize that like the story of Mary, it could be that other women were there and they didn't keep their virginity, which the Bible says that Mary is a virgin, was chosen. And, now, virginity is something that is there to a lot of people and their culture. They oftentimes want to get their daughters married quickly once they clock 13, 14, in which at this time and age, you cannot do so. You can't just marry out your child at that age. Your child needs to be 18. That's the standard as a culture. But these things still exist all over the world. And if you go to some of these Arab or, Middle East, where you will find Israel and all of those countries and that still maintain, you realize that they still maintain this. This person pairs with this. I'm not talking of having a lot of women wives, and I'm talking of actually connecting with a woman. So the issue of checking what is working and what is not working. How do you check what is working in a woman? That's where the problem lies. And that is where people are beginning to have issues like, okay, if you want to check the equipment of a man, how are we going to check that yours also functions? How do we check that you can get pregnant and have children, and that you don't have complications inside already, like situations inside of you already? That's the question that begs for an answer, right? So the same way that churches have incorporated certain activities to guide you in your decision making. One, someone says, I like this woman. Now, most people will not say I like the woman. They will be like, God told me, because they have to put it inside of, I saw a vision. The questions will be asked like, how did you get revelation that this person is your wife? So I prayed and God kept showing me. I was under this umbrella and we were together. It was raining, but we were able to stay under the umbrella. Some will say, oh, we were in a boat together. Some, churches where marriage is strict. Like back then, like Deeper Life, they had we all heard the pastor saying, I'm going to take away this marriage committee thing where they have stringent rules on, but that does not mean that people still do not come up with stories since they know the modus operandi. I know what to tell them and present it that way. So there are other churches that are slack in that aspect of it, and they do not really, I like this woman, and both of us are Christians. She's in the choir, I'm in ushering department, protocol. We like each other. We are from the same state. All of those things, and they get married to each other. Sometimes the marriage stays, like, because they have this thought, this is how marriage is supposed to be, regardless of it. Some begin to experience issues, trials, tribulations. A lot of things go wrong like that. Now, this thing came up back then. People realized that just saying God told me, which could be true or not, they realized that they were not compatible with certain people. For example, in the parts of the world, like let's say Nigeria or some other parts of Africa where the malaria disease is so much, like a lot of it there, it created a kind of mutation where you will find people with the sickle cell as a carrier or as a disease. So they realize that if two AS get married, they definitely will have a child that is going to be a sickler. So they now start incorporating science into it, like, okay, you know what? You must do your genotype and know your all of those details. I think now it will be incorporated if we are to stick with, no, you cannot check the weapon of your man, neither can you check the one of the woman to see that everything is working. You like this person, you say God told you. Now, if God told you, how come there is problem? You see that these things are not, human beings can be very funny. So I think the new rules to guide in churches that are still strict about marriage, that want the courtship to be 3 months, talk to yourselves, express yourselves, express whatever it is about yourself, family issues, secrets, and then see if you guys are compatible. It's like, in quote, a godly way of getting to know the other person without testing. That is the thing. So there are people who are like, no, we have to test. Unless these rules are put in place where the woman, okay, both of you have, and churches will have to pay for it. The church will have to be paying for this thing because it might be difficult. Well, let's say if you want to marry, then you must be ready. But the thing is, most of these services, medical services are not cheap. So the man wants to go and get himself tested. They want to see if he has low sperm count. How do you get the sperm out? Another problem. Because getting it out, unless you are going to go through a very painful journey where it's going to be, a long syringe is going to be used to take it out. But look at the pain of it. So these things are very complex. And for you, if you say, I'm a Christian man, how do you get what is needed to be tested out? Is by engaging in a kind of activity that you might be called a sinner, okay? So you understand what I'm saying? So you'll be called a sinner. So for the man to be tested, unless science have improved to a point whereby you don't need all of that, you can just put like a scanner. The scanner will check and say, oh, this man, you are okay, you can have children. And if you can't have children, these are the medication to take so that your things are working fine. And the woman too will be tested. For women, okay, they can be tested. They can, scan can detect, oh, this woman, you have cyst. Oh, this woman, you are this, you are that. And a lot of tests like that. If not, I don't know. I don't really know. It's a difficult thing. So it's more like what you see is what you get. So if you grab a man that is not functioning well, you're on your own. If you grab a woman that cannot give birth or has issues, you are on your own. You just have to live life together in whatever circumstances that you find yourself and move on. That's just basically what it is. So I don't know what your thoughts are as regards this, because this matter is eating up social media right now. People who are kind of more conservative Christians are saying, no, it is not possible. In the Bible, questions have been asked, like, show me in the Bible where it says that I cannot test to know if this is what I want. I know people might begin to talk about fragmentation of our spirit, or no, of our soul, meaning you are with this person, it could create psychological issues. You have tested this person, and not to talk of the diseases, So imagine if you are now testing this person and it's like, this person is not good, I need to test another person. You would have tested literally all the ladies in the church, and all the ladies would have tested literally all the men in the church. Like, no, I think this one, unless there is a cap on it, which like, oh, you can't test more than one person in a year. It doesn't make sense. These are very difficult and complex. But conservative Christians will tell you, listen, you cannot engage in this activity at all, because it is against God and his rules. You cannot want to see what is there. It is impossible. If you do, you have sinned. And they will say marriage is honorable with the bed on the fire. I know people have different interpretation to what that particular verse is saying, meaning, oh, marriage is honorable with the bed on the fire. Like, if we don't do it before then, it's honorable. Then some would say, no, the translation means marriage, that adultery is not in it, it's honorable. But if the bed is defiled, meaning you've gone to kind of check someone else's home whilst you're married, then it becomes a problem. So people begin to quote different Bible verses to back up whatever they want to say. And some will be like, no, God did not say we should not check what we want to involve ourselves in or buy. We need to check, and I need to be sure. So the problem is, how many will you check before you confirm and conclude and say, this fits me?